The thing with race is that race is not true. It's not a true teaching. You cannot divide human DNA into 5 or 6 or 10 distinct races. This has been disproven biologically so many times. Human DNA is continuous. There is 0.1% genetic variation among human beings, but 90% of that variation is within a nation itself. So for example, a white person who is tall and a white person who is short can have some varying DNA because tall people and short people are different. So a white people that is tall is more similar probably to a black person who is tall than a white person who is short. So this looking at people on the surface, dividing them into races, saying that one race has higher IQ than another. You can trace this back to Carl von Linné and Blumenbach and all of these 1800s scientists. Is disproven. They looked at human skulls and tried to draw some parallels on skull features. All of that is disproven. It's completely disproven. Yes, there are cultures, there are lineages, there are ethnicities. You inherit genes from your parents. So for example, if your mother and father were professors, you are likely to be good at school, just genetically so. If your mother and father were farmers, you're likely to be a good farmer. So yes, there are certain lineages and tribes in Africa who have traditionally done farming and some who have traditionally done scholarship. Same in India. This is the caste system, but that's not race or just looking at someone on the surface and saying black is inferior, white is superior. It's a nonsense doctrine. Myself, I have been, discussing anti-racism on Sweden on a very high level and been attacked by many Nazi groups. And the Nazis, they always do the same thing. They say that I have a Burger King caps and I should get a job and stop living on welfare. Yet I work in the banking industry and I have a master's degree and I don't work in Burger King. So with these desperate attempts to be bigots and racist degenerates, while these people themselves, they are probably uneducated and drink a lot of beer, these talking down to other people is how most people probably will encounter racism and feel racism. It's people who identify as white, who are unconscious of themselves identifying as white, who look at you on the surface and immediately draw a lot of conclusions about your intelligence, talk down to you, talk to you like you're more stupid, talk to you like they expect you to do crimes, or just have a lot of preconceived notions about you as a person, and all of that is not true. It's just not true. It's not who you are. You are not a criminal. You are not stupid. Maybe some people who look like you might be stupid, but you might not be stupid. So it's ignorance, and racism is ignorance, and it is willful ignorance. It is some people who feel disenfranchised, who want to force themselves to believe that they are superior to black people and other people that they categorize as racist, different from them. That is a way to lift themselves up. So they are gonna almost force you into thinking about race and thinking about yourself as a race. And this is the mistake that my brothers and sisters in America and African diasporans go into. You go into the blackness. You define yourself as black. I'm black and this is not black. I'm sorry, brother. That's a trap. That's how they want you to see yourself. Because when you see yourself as black, you see them as white, and then you are in that dualistic game, all the time inferior to them. So they have projected their ideology onto you. Break free from that. Brother, break free from that. You have your religion, your culture, your tribe, your lineages, your mothers and fathers' bloodlines, but have nothing to do with your skin color. This skin color is just related to how far away from the equator you are. So black people from Africa migrated to the north during the Ice Age, and they lose some of the pigmentation. That is it, and over time that will become white just out of pure survival. So people who are white, if they go to the equator, they will have problems with the sun because the melanin protects against the sun. It is not more than that. So the key to defeat racism comes not from white people, but from black people. Or people who society want to categorize as black. You, my African brothers and sisters, you are the one who have to defeat racism. And do you know how you can defeat racism? The way I have defeated racism. You stop believing in it, because it is not true. Here I agree completely with Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was the alchemist against racism. He said, stop talking about it. He's right. Because when you stop talking about it, my brothers and sisters in America stop identifying as black. And when they stop identifying as black, they stop this subconscious inferiority complex that they are lesser. Because when you identify as black, or you call yourself, yo, what's up, nigga? Nigga, what's up, nigga? I'm using that term to illustrate. You will start acting subconsciously like a nigger. You will kill each other. You will be a buffoon, and all of these kinds of behavioral patterns. You have to break free from that. We call it mental slavery. You have to break free from the mental slavery by stopping to believe that you are a race. You are not a race, my brother. You might be Fuller, you might be Wolof. There are biggest, wisest mystic scholars in the Fuller tradition. There are people who memorize the Quran at 7 years age. These are IQ geniuses. There are high IQ people in all of, the tribes, and some have lower, and God created them like that to do other kinds of work. We are all sons and daughters and children, ultimately, of the Most High. You have to break free from seeing yourself as black and identifying as a race, because then you will all the time act as a black stereotype, and you will never break free. And you will associate the negative behaviors that you have to being black. Now, you cannot wait for white people to break you free from that, and I will tell you why. You can't let white people or people who identify as white to break you free from racism, because they benefit from the system. They are the upper caste in that system. So you have to understand that it is an upper class type of, they are trying to indoctrinate you into thinking that you're black, because then if you believe that, you will be in the lower class and they will be in the upper class. And people don't want to let go of their upper class very easily. This is from experience, and you can see that also when you look at Jordan Peterson and these people. They are not willing to let go of their white privilege. They will gaslight it and deny it into the end. So what you can expect from white people, who are essentially then are the upper class in that racist system, the systemic racist system, is that they will deny it and gaslight it forever and ever, because it benefits them. You have to break that class system. You have to break that class system that we call systemic racism. But the way you break it is that you have to stop believing that you are a race. You have to stop believing that you are a black man. You are African from the original, and you have beautiful DNA. You can do anything you want. Brother, you can do anything you want. You can be a math professor. You can be an engineer. You can be an economist like myself. You can be a mystic. You can be a scholar in Islam. You can be a doctor. You can be anything. Break free from this. And your African brothers are doing very well right now. Like in Nigeria, Kenya, and places, it's going really, really well. Also South Africa. Well, some people in South Africa say it's very corrupt. Break free from this thinking. Break free from this thinking. Stop believing that you are a race. Let the people who want to keep the caste system alive talk like that. Let that be their problem. Let that be their ignorance and their willful ignorance that they want to project onto others. So for me, I have never felt inferior to white men. I work in the quantitative industry. I have never met a white man who I feel intellectually inferior to. I have met many white men who talk down to me and try to make me feel inferior to them, but I don't believe that that is true. So it becomes like a forced jacket. How do I experience racism? Like a forced jacket. Like you're trying to force me into a jacket that doesn't fit, and I don't want to wear it. That's how I experience racism. Like you're trying to force me into a jacket that doesn't fit. And I'm like, ugh, keep it for yourself. Keep your jacket for yourself. You don't have to put it on me. You can keep your ignorance for yourself. Don't project it to me. Hopefully this video was healing. How do you deal with racism? How do you experience racism? Please write anything in the comments below. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.